Don't miss out on important news. Our videos are being deleted. So if you don't want to be cut off from honest news, take a moment to sign up for our newsletter at newsletter.ntd.com so you don't lose access to NTD. Go to newsletter.ntd.com to sign up for our evening newsletter.
Taxpayers in San Diego County may soon be footing the bill for more lawyers, but not their own. The extra legal counsel will be provided to illegal immigrants who are in federal custody and facing deportation. Here are the details.
The San Diego County Board of Supervisors voted 3-2 on Tuesday to set up a $5 million program to cover the cost of lawyers to represent illegal immigrants held at the Otay Mesa Detention Center in San Diego. Those in custody would have access to lawyers at no cost to them through the county's public defender's office.
Our justice system should be based on facts and on law, not on access to wealth and resources. So when we see inequality like this, inequality that runs contrary to rights guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution and upheld by the Supreme Court, we must take action.
Santa Clara and Los Angeles County have adopted similar measures, but San Diego County will become the first region along the southern border to take it upon itself to cover the legal costs for illegal immigrants held by federal authorities.
And I really wish we had unlimited funds for everyone's representation in civil matters. And to me, this is a federal issue, and unfortunately, not the financial responsibility of a local county government.
Currently, there are close to 1,000 detainees held at the Otay Mesa Detention Center, representing about 60 countries of origin. County Supervisor Lawson Reamer says currently only 5% of detainees facing deportation will win their cases without a lawyer. According to a study by the American Immigration Council, detainees with lawyers are 4 times more likely to be released from detention.
Bill Gates' plan to divorce his wife gained worldwide attention, with many people unsure of what the new change will bring. One marriage expert says the impact goes beyond him and his wife. NTD's Don Tran reports.
In an announcement that shocked the world, former Microsoft CEO Bill Gates said he was splitting with his wife after 27 years of marriage. Relationship expert and CEO of Marriage Helper Kimberly Holmes said their decision is heartbreaking.
It is really difficult to see that they have said that they just can't see themselves growing together in the future, and that they believe they would be better apart than together. I believe that this is not a smart thing for them to do. I believe that the best thing for them to do is to try and work this out and stay together.
The former couple jointly ran the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It was founded in 1994 and has issued grant payments of nearly $55 billion. Despite the divorce, Bill and Melinda said they will continue to grow together at their foundation. But Holmes said their divorce will have a negative effect on their children and their work at the foundation.
Here's the thing. Something was broken about their relationship so much that they have decided to divorce. You can't remove that by just being in a boardroom versus a bedroom. It is still going to be there. And so unless they figure that out, then people in the company will feel like they need to choose sides. There's going to be issues with splitting the money. Even if they're amicable, there are still issues that haven't been worked out, and it's going to show up.
Holmes also said Gates' decision runs contrary to his foundation's goal of uplifting children in developing countries. That's because she says uplifting children begins in the home, with a strong family foundation with 2 committed parents. Ultimately, she says his divorce sets a bad example for the rest of the country.
The fact that Bill and Melinda Gates are divorcing and everyone is seeing this, yes, I do believe that it shows Americans that this is an option when it shouldn't be an option for most people. Marriages can be saved. You can work through it. That's what we need to see.
The Gates Foundation issued a statement to Recode which said no changes were planned for the organization or for Bill or Melinda Gates' roles. Don Tran, NTD News.
A federal judge in Washington, D.C. has tossed the eviction moratorium, preventing landlords around the country from evicting tenants due to hardship caused by the CCP virus. The moratorium has been a contentious issue among landlords around the country who say this loophole has been taken advantage of by opportunistic tenants. This measure was put in place by Congress following the CCP virus outbreak. The measure would allow tenants to stay in an apartment without paying rent, leaving landlords with no recourse to evict. Landlords have argued it's an unfair burden to not be able to evict tenants while they still have mortgages and property taxes to pay. The CDC extended the ban until June 30th back in March, but the court said the CDC does not have the authority to impose a nationwide eviction moratorium. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is committing to funding the police in his state. He announced a plan to give first responders in Florida a $1,000 bonus. DeSantis said lately police, firefighters, and EMTs have had to work harder than they ever have. He says that's partly because they've been protecting people during the pandemic. The governor said the way police have been treated in parts of the country over the last year is a disgrace. The crowd cheered when DeSantis mentioned how he asked state lawmakers to give bonuses to law enforcement. He said, quote, "Some want to defund the police. We want to fund the police, and then some." And we have more New York City news from Arian. New York City schools are no longer celebrating Columbus Day, but kids will still have the day off. The holiday will get a new name.
New York City public schools aren't celebrating Columbus Day anymore, but they will still take the day off. But instead of celebrating Columbus Day, they will from now on celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day and Italian Heritage Day. But according to historians and educators, Christopher Columbus is an important part of American culture.
We should honor him as we have in the past. We should honor him in the future.
He is a pivotal figure. He also represents all the great qualities of a man of his time, someone who sought to spread the word of Christianity, who was an explorer, who was adventurous, who was curious, who was persistent, and he rose from very humble roots to do that. So he's sort of the prototype of the American.
The City Department of Education made the decision to get rid of Columbus Day without consulting other city officials.
This process wasn't handled right. I certainly didn't hear about the change, nor did the chancellor.
And city officials weren't the only ones who were left out of the decision-making.
Public of New York certainly ought to be able to speak loudly to defend Columbus, to simply have any input in the process whatsoever.
These schools are also getting rid of snow days. Now if the snow's too heavy, students will have to learn from home. Arian Pastar, NTD News, New York.